So hello everyone, I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another Black Ops 3 Zombies video. Today we are going to be talking about our next Zombies map. We have some new information about where it's going to be set, the things that are going to be happening, and honestly this is very interesting. I know you guys are going to enjoy the video. As always, if you do and you want to drop a like rating, if you could do that, I would love you guys forever. But if not, it doesn't matter because I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to give massive credit to Glitching Queen. She is the one who first came out about this, so as always, credit where credit is due. But let's get straight into it. So this is some very interesting information. For me, anything that is leaked, you always, and I hate this saying, but you have to take it with a grain of salt. God damn it. But as she says, her source is very reliable. But anyway, enough of that. Let's delve straight into it. So what is our next Zombies map going to be? So if we look at the facts we already know, in Richtofen's notes we find in the Giant, we see 4 different coordinates, and by now we all know that it looks like these coordinates will take us over to our zombie map locations. We have the Drache, Pohnpei, the Giant, and Stalingrad. Pohnpei, the island, don't get it confused with Pohnpei, it is Pohnpei, is the location for our next Zombies map. Now set during 1945, around that time, around World War II, it was, as I believe, invaded by Japan and had a big part to play with the Japanese army. Located on that island around this time was a group called Division 9. Division 9 were a Japanese research group who were allies with Group 935 and working alongside the Germans to build experimental weaponry with 115. Takeo was sent there by the Emperor of Japan to spy on Division 9 because they were suspicious of their true intentions, which could harm Japan. So to make sure this doesn't happen, Takeo was sent to the island by the Emperor to gather evidence of what was truly going on. Takeo was then to report his evidence back to the Emperor via letter, but as we know, Takeo never received any replies. Therefore, Takeo thought that the Emperor had forgotten about him. But I don't think he had. I think Richtofen had intercepted the Emperor's messages that were to Takeo and kept them for himself. Richtofen keeps saying to Takeo, I have a message for you, but now is not the time for me to tell you. Which means in Pohnpei, I think that Richtofen is going to talk about this message that Takeo had, which will convince him to kill his original character. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. That was just a quick overview of what I think this next map is going to be. But moving on to the leaked information. Now, this is very exciting. Maybe you're saying, Eli, why are you showing us the Giant gameplay? The Drache has just come out. It's a brilliant map. Why don't you show... No. Okay. Look in the Giant trailer, or the intro that we get at the start. We see this weapon. This weapon is commonly known to Takeo, the katana, the sword, this Japanese weapon as I would refer it to. I'm not technically sure it is. Is that a word? I don't know what I'm going on about here. Anyway, we see Takeo use this katana. This weapon is what we know him for. We see him using it in the Origins trailer, and we also see him pull it and use it out within the Giant as well. And I remember when Origins first came out and we all first saw the trailer of Takeo using it, a lot of people thought that we would be able to use that as a melee weapon. Maybe instead of the Bowie knife, the katana would replace it. And even though that would be an awesome idea, it didn't come true. So on this new island of Pohnpei, the wonder weapon is going to be, and by the way, this is going to include spoilers, obviously, but it is going to be called the MASAMUNE. MASAMUNE is widely recognized as Japan's greatest swordsmith. He created swords and daggers known in Japanese as tachi, but no exact dates are known for MASAMUNE's life and as he reached an almost legendary status. It is generally agreed that he made most of his swords in the late 13th and early 14th centuries, and if you take a look at some MASAMUNE swords or similar styled ones, you can see it is very similar to what Takeo's katana looks like, or just a general katana would look like. This type of weapon, this type of long sword, could be this weapon that Takeo is using. What if this katana that he keeps pulling out is a MASAMUNE sword, which, as stated, were made by the best and greatest swordsmith in Japan that has ever lived. So just imagine in Zombies what they could actually do with this. The sword styles of MASAMUNE have a reputation for superior beauty and quality, remarkable in a period where steel necessary for swords was often impure. A legend tells of a test where Muramasa challenged his master MASAMUNE to see who could make a finer sword. They both worked tirelessly and eventually they decided to test the results, and basically Muramura's sword would cut through almost anything fish, leaves, the very air that passed through, which impressed MASAMUNE, and then when MASAMUNE tested his blade, it would only cut through leaves. And whilst Muramasa laughed at him, this showed that MASAMUNE's swords was used only for good. In another legend, again, Muramasa and MASAMUNE were summoned to make swords for the shogun or emperor, and the finished swords were held in a waterfall. The result is the same as the other stories, where MASAMUNE's swords were deemed holy swords. In one version of the story, Muramasa is killed for creating evil swords. And actually, I've just had a thought, and if you link this up to Takeo's message, remember he is a spy that's been sent to Pohnpei to spy on Division 9, probably pretending to be one of their employees. He mentions that Division 9 have become wary and suspicious of his activities and so have taken all of his weapons away from him and also restricted him from access to different parts of the research area. If Division 9 have taken away all of TAKEO'S weapons, this means they have also taken away his katana. Bearing in mind that is if he takes it everywhere with him, which, you know, he probably does. But that means they have taken away his katana. And if Glitching Queen is right and this is the wonder weapon, the katana, the MASAMUNE sword is the wonder weapon, this possibly could be TAKEO'S. Division 9 we know have taken it away from him. Is it possible that somehow they smash it up, try to destroy it, maybe melt it, or maybe just store it in a different place? And when we get there, as we know in DLC 2, we will be going to the island of Pohnpei. To get this wonder weapon, what we have to do is build it back together again. That's assuming that Division 9 maybe smashed it up and broke it into pieces, and then maybe you have to upgrade it, and that's how it becomes this MASAMUNE sword, which I guess is similar to the Ice Draco, where you have to not build the bows, but you have to feed all dragon heads, and then you get the Apothecon bow, and what you can then do is upgrade it, or maybe we just have to find it somewhere or it's stored in the box. But I don't know, I just thought I'd mention that. And I know a lot of people are going to be saying, why are you talking about DLC 2? DLC 1 has only just come out, but it hasn't. DLC 1 came out first. Remember, for PS4 over a month ago. DLC 2 usually comes out mid-April, which means it is about a month away from now, which is actually the time that TAKEO'S start teasing things. She also talks about a boss called a Thrasher, and also spiders, how we may be fighting them as well. The Thrasher can release some type of gas like the Nova 6, so we may be getting different or a couple of different bosses, just like we've actually recently been getting within zombies anyway. Like in the Ice Draco we have the dogs and the Panzer, in Shadows of Evil we have the Margwa, we have the parasites, and we also have the freaking meatballs, so I won't be surprised if there are a few different bosses on this next map. It seems to be focusing a lot around gods as well, Greek gods and ancient gods, which is very interesting, but I want to save all of that for another video. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you would like more information on this map, I want to actually take a better look into it and see the history on this map, because that's exactly what I did with the Ice Draco, and you can get just a really good feel for it and possibly actually find out the exact location as to where it could be. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have enjoyed the video, if you could drop me a like rating, it only takes 2 seconds, that'd be awesome. If we go for the small goal of just 3 like ratings, would you like to see the katana or the MASAMUNE as a weapon within Pohnpei? If not, I'm going to ask you the question, if you could add one weapon into the game, into this next map, what would it be? I've been BlackOpsAmazing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for daily zombies videos, and as always, I will see you in the next video. I love you all, and goodbye.